Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Hillary Mulick, a North Carolina-based wedding photographer, and here on my channel I like to share education for photographers on how to better streamline their businesses. So today's topic is a topic that I am really excited about. It is a topic that was honestly really hard for me when I very first started in wedding photography, and it has to do with how to come up with your photography pricing. And I think it's something that every photographer struggles with. You just never know how to price yourself. You don't know how much you're supposed to charge for things. And I think when I very first started my photography business, I just started off doing rounded numbers like $1,000 for this and $1,500 for this and $200 for this, because I just didn't know any other way to do it. I was just throwing out random numbers, and then if they worked out, great. And if they didn't, then I would make adjustments, and it was just all a guessing game. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to break down your wedding photography prices so that you know that everything is accounted for, you know exactly how much you're going to get paid, and it just also makes it really easy for customizing pricing in the future. So if you have someone that comes to you and has a very specific wedding photography needs, and it's not a package that you offer, you need to customize something for them, being able to know how your wedding photography pricing is broken down, you can more easily do that. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to do that. So the very first thing you want to do is I need you to figure out how much you want to pay yourself per wedding. Now, this is not how much your photography packages are going to cost. That's a completely different number. I need you to figure out how much money you need to be paying yourself with every wedding. And it's easiest to do this as an hourly rate. So depending on whether you're working a 5-hour wedding or a 10-hour wedding, what is your hourly rate that you are comfortable with paying yourself for each of these weddings? Now I want you to write that number down. All of these things I need you to write down on a piece of paper because it's going to come in handy in the end. Oh, and by the way, at the end of this video, I have a little surprise download for you guys that's gonna make all of this stuff really easy. But for now, I want you to just write all this information down. The second thing I need you to do is I need you to write down how much products you are investing in each of your clients. So if you are doing welcome gifts or thank you gifts or just any sort of physical product. Now we're not talking about like digital product unless you pay per gallery on your client gallery subscriptions. I just do like a monthly fee for storage, so I don't factor this in. But if you do, then you do need to factor that in. But I need you to figure out how much per client you are investing in product. So for example, if you are putting together a thank you package, I have a thank you gift that all of my clients get. This thank you gift includes a box, it includes crinkle paper, it includes a customized box that I order with their names engraved on it. It has a USB in it. I order about 50 prints to put in there, and then I mail it. So I wrote, when I was doing this, I wrote down every single one of those prices. If any of these items you buy in bulk, so I buy crinkle paper in bulk, I don't buy little packets of crinkle paper for each one of my clients. I also buy my shipping boxes in bulk. So if you buy anything in bulk, just divide that number by whatever number you need in order to get the price for one box and put that price in. So once you have all of these things written out, the prices for all these things, you're gonna total them up and come up with how much product you are investing in each client. So for me, my total price is $90. I invest about $90 in product per client. So that's the number that I put in this next space. The next number is only applicable if you shoot film. I shoot film. So with weddings, I estimate about 10 rolls of film. And so I calculated how much each of those individual rolls of film are costing me. Also how much it costs to get each of those rolls developed and how much it costs to mail that film to the lab. So I have a wedding film category on how much that costs. If you have engagement sessions in your packages, this is the next part that you're gonna write down. Do an hourly rate. So if your engagement sessions are 1 hour or 2 hours, it's just your hourly rate on how much you pay yourself for your engagement sessions. And then also if you are a film photographer, how much film you're actually shooting for that engagement session. So I generally shoot about 5 rolls of film for an engagement session. So I have that number listed there as well. I also have the next item that you're gonna write down is any other add-ons that are in your packages generally. So this could be albums, this could be rehearsal dinner coverage, it could be a bridal session, any other add-ons that you have in your packages, I need you to factor in the cost of that. So again, this is not how much you are charging the client, this is how much you wanna be paid for each of these things, and put that number in there. The next line is if you do outsourcing for your editing, which I do. So I have another line on my wedding photography breakdown of editing costs. And I generally I generally deliver about 100 images an hour. So depending on how many hours the wedding is, that's how many images I'm going to end up sending to my editor and getting edited by them. So I need to factor in how much they're going to be paid as well. All right, bear with me. We have put down a lot of numbers so far. I'll go through them again. We put down how much we want to be paid ourselves per hour for wedding coverage, how much product we are spending per client. So I mentioned that for me it was $90 per client. And this is not just some number I threw out. I actually wrote down all the items and things that I invest and give to each client. And this includes postage, services, and all the things. So I came up with the number of 90. That's how I got my number. If you shoot film, you need to factor that in. If you have an engagement session or film for that, if you have any other add-on, any editing costs. I also have a line for a second shooter. So if any of my packages have a second shooter, I pay my second shooters an hourly rate. So I have that factored in as well. Now, the next thing you're gonna do is what is the sales tax in the area that you live in? Because that is going to be factored in. For me, I like to include sales tax in all of my package pricing. I just think it's so much easier to include it, and that way there's no hidden fees. It's not like they're booking collection number 1 and then when I send them the proposal, it's now $300 more than that, and then they're confused and they ghost me and it's because sales tax. And so now, just to save the headache, I just include it. So the next line is going to be how much is sales tax in your area? Is it 7%? Is it 7.5%? Is it whatever percent? So you need to write that down so that that can be factored in. Also, do you shoot a lot of destination weddings? I shoot a handful of destination weddings a year, and I include my travel in the package price, but it's invoice separately. But when they're looking at the full package, so if I were to shoot their wedding in Maryland and I live here in North Carolina, I actually have a separate pricing guide for the Northeast, and that has travel included in that. So that's gonna be the next line. And after that, you're going to get your total package price. So, I mean, it sounds like a lot, and I talked about giving you guys something at the end of this video. I have a download that's a Google Excel spreadsheet that has all of these items listed on there. All you have to do is fill in the blanks with the numbers that you've come up with, and it'll tell you what your package price is going to be. So that is the not so secret way of breaking down your photography pricing so that you know exactly how much you're paying yourself per hour. You know that you have factored in the products that the client is getting, any albums that they're getting, the second shooter costs, the editing costs, the film costs if you shoot film. You're factoring in all of these things, and you're not having to dip into your own money that you were supposed to be paying yourself in order to cover these costs. So after factoring all these things in, you're gonna be able to come up with your photography price for that package. So what I do in the Excel spreadsheet that you can download is I put in the amount of hours that I want that package to be. So I have an 8, 9, and 10 hour package. So the first column I put 8 hours, and I have how much I'm gonna pay myself per hour. I do the same thing for second shooter, so how much my second shooters get paid per hour. I put in the number 8 as well. I put in any information for any add-ons that are in that package. The sales tax is already included, and any travel, if it is a travel wedding, is included as well. And then it comes up with the final package price. So go ahead and, again, download that Google Excel spreadsheet so that you can take advantage of that as well and figure out exactly how much you should be charging your couples for things that you are offering them, so that you're getting paid what you want to be paid and that they're paying what they're supposed to be paying. So the beauty of knowing exactly what your package pricing is supposed to be is, after you have that number and after you know how much you want to be paid per hour for each of these weddings, you can then come up with a number of how many weddings you want to shoot per year. I feel like this was the hardest thing for me to figure out when I very first started in photography. I just thought, well, I'm just gonna book as much that comes my way, and then I'd end up booking too much and not having enough personal time, and my whole work-life balance goes out the window because I just didn't know my numbers. I didn't take the time to sit down, which really, with this equation, only takes like 15 minutes at most. I never sat down and figured out how many weddings do I really need to be shooting per year in order to be making the income and the hourly rate that I want to be making. So by taking the time to do all of this, it's going to make your business a lot happier of a place to work in, because you're going to be being paid what you want to be paid, and all of the other costs are going to be covered because it was included in your packages that your clients are paying for. I hope that information was helpful. Again, that Google Excel spreadsheet link is in the description down below, so you can click that and download it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week for another YouTube video. Bye, guys.